So I was pretty depressed through high school, and my parents didn't realize it because we were pretty much given a script for appropriate emotional response, and I memorized that pretty well. When my emotions weren't clearly on the list of prescribed ways to be, my dad would treat my emotions as if they were strange, or there would be some sort of process of contextualizing what I was describing towards the Bible. One of the emotions that I had was effectively distress because I had friends who I cared about who didn't believe in God the way that we did, although they did believe in some sort of divine relationship. Eventually, there wasn't a novel combination of truths that could give me an emergent sense that I could learn more from the Bible. Kind of like how many letters can you make with three letters of the alphabet? How many words can you make with three letters of the alphabet? Kind of like how many words can you make with three letters of the alphabet? But we were raised with God as our Heavenly Father being the most important relationship in all of the universe. Into high school, I felt increasingly eclipsed by a concept of me that wasn't grounded in my actual intent. The concept of me wasn't grounded in the person that I was trying to become or the way that I tried to exist in the world. Being at school was the way that I escaped that environment. So, in a lot of ways, I got used to being a different person at home and at school. My parents have mostly seen me depressed and don't engage with the things that I create enough to understand what I do. Sometimes my dad dismantles the thing, Sometimes my dad dismantles the things that I'm building and claims that elements of them aren't necessary without contextualizing a path towards the things that I'm trying to do. His business is meant to be a God centered business, and my name means God listens. I shed a lot of the artistic structures in my life to pursue engineering, specifically as I was discouraged from the arts. This caused a lot of dissonance because people only really understood the side of me that my parents didn't see. In college, I became so depressed that I had a medical withdrawal and was off for a semester, and then when I returned, I worked for the dorm. I lost that job and housing because I had some dank herb and didn't put it in the jar correctly. There was a one strike policy for staff. I didn't tell my parents that I lost that job or housing, though. Moving into that house was actually a net positive experience because of the people who I met and the relationships that I've formed that last today. When I describe this period of my life to my parents, they fixate on elements that seem like things they wouldn't do. My dad has a tendency to point to those things and bring them into context to shame me. But genuinely, that helped me establish my real career. My real career being working with creatives, with other artists in artistic representation, branding, marketing, projects, drops, releases. That canonical thread makes more sense if it's understood that I value art and it is the way that I communicate. That isn't something that I've been able to describe to my parents, who view it as a luxury. Then just growing up, I've needed to pay different amounts of attention. Then just growing up, I've needed to pay different amounts of attention